to genuinely practice and bounce off some other people when it comes to concluding the format. So the reason why Roger and Lynn and Tim have been able to remain seemingly immune from any criminal prosecution is because of the way that they tricked New Hampshire to have to be held accountable for violations of federal law in order for them to be held accountable for breaking state law. So their ability to trick the courts into overlooking what was required by the procedures of the court by trusting Roger as the guardian, trusting Lynn as the conservator. Probate Court didn't think that there had to be the protocol of neurological evaluation because there was trusting parents with no criminal backgrounds, retired, etc. So they were able to get New Hampshire court to consent to not following through with what's required by federal law in order to protect my human rights and trust them. And that's how they got them hooked. So now Roger and Lynn, after that proceeding, while I was the patient of St. Joe's Hospital, for them to be held accountable for stealing from me, then the state of New Hampshire would have to be held accountable for making me responsible as if I was a normal adult while the patient of a hospital, and no neurological evaluation after a skull puncturing injury covered by WMUR. So Roger, Lynn, and Tim were able to trick New Hampshire courts to getting New Hampshire now liable first before they're liable for any of the heinous crimes they committed for the last decade. For a couple of $1 million assault and the death of Hannah. An ongoing SSA fraud, with HUD property protecting the way that Roger, Lynn, and Tim have used MDS, Monadnock Developmental Services, to get all the Health and Human Services funding, all the filings, as they misuse the courts to protect the administrative rope-a-dope and the systematic dysfunction they arranged. But all of it comes back to they can't be held accountable until New Hampshire's held accountable for allowing them to do that to me while I was the patient of a hospital. By law, and they know it. And so they just keep MDS doing the dick around, making sure I can't get stability, can't get any of my resources, make sure they keep on stealing everything they want with bank accounts made in my name, make sure courts keep saying, I can't touch my bank accounts, but they can. And no one has to worry about the endless milking of money from the federal government until I'm dead. That's their plan. So I'm telling the public it's a heinous story, and I'm one I know of thousands in the state of New Hampshire, but I can speak of it, and the other thousands it's happening to can't. So I'm going to.